Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of CookieCast. Today on CookieCast, it's the Formula One podcast straight to the apex. The guys are here. They're bringing you the Formula One news, Formula One race, the race gone, the race to come, everything you could possibly want from a Formula One podcast, all brought to you in one place. I was going to say something, but I refrained. Package. So it's all here, all the Formula One stuff. And before we get into that, a few bits of business. Firstly, like, share, subscribe, and comment if it's not too much trouble. That'd be amazing. Let these guys know how much you love their podcast. Let other people know how much you love their podcast. Big one is share the podcast around. If you've got a Formula One fan in your life, send this podcast their way. They will definitely love it. Right, let's get started. Here we go. This is CookieCast, straight to the apex.
Hello, welcome back to Straight to the Apex podcast, live on CookieCast. This is Series 2, Episode 24. We are there. We're coming to the end of the season. There's 2 more races to go.
Yep.
Las Vegas, which we'll get into Las Vegas, and Abu Dhabi. Joining me, he's back. He's back from Disneyland. He's not been locked up. He's not been arrested. I mean,
Didn't catch me.
I will ask him if he felt up Anna or Elsa, but Mr. James Stainforth is back with us.
Hey guys. No shackles, no tags on the ankles. All good.
You either didn't get caught or you didn't do it. I know which one I feel, but we won't go into that.
I'm just not welcome in Paris anymore.
That's it. One and done, a bit like Las Vegas. Yeah. Just the two of us tonight. Unfortunately, Tony can't be here. So yeah, James, welcome back. Week off. Did you listen to our podcast with me and Tony? I didn't get that angry, did I?
No, I don't listen to this shit. I don't listen to podcasts. Yeah, I'll listen. Wow,
I was just drinking my tea. That nearly went back in the cup.
That was one of the best reactions I've ever seen. No, I'll listen to the podcast. There were some interesting comments on there. I've never noticed this before. But when Tony talks, when he's doing the podcast, why does he talk like William Shatner?
I've not noticed that.
Yeah, you've never noticed it, but now, when he's back next week, you will notice straight away, like, oh my God. You know, and whenever you hear a really bad William Shatner impression, you know, and that was Tony, I was listening to him like, oh my fucking God. Like, hello, you've come to episode 24 of Straight to the Apex. I'm Tony T-Dog Rawson. And he's like, oh my.
Do you know the shame of that reference is when he listens to this or when we speak to him next week, he probably won't know who William Shatner is.
Yeah. Don't worry, Tony. By the time you're listening to this, you will have noticed that we've already sent you a picture of William Shatner, and I'm just going to put the note underneath it, just saying, just FYI.
But please listen to this. This is you.
It'll all make sense.
It'll all make sense. You know what? Now you've said it, yeah, I can picture William Shatner in my head and then Tony talking, and it is only on the podcast. He don't do it in life.
William Shatner. I don't know if I'm picturing more Jim Carrey as Ace Ventura as William Shatner or what. You know, Captain's Log, Stardate, 2019. We've traveled back in time.
We are just going to be laughing at him every time he speaks next week, and he won't have a fucking clue what's going on. I mean, he don't anyway, does he?
No. I did get quite interested in when he was talking about me in Disneyland, and I was giggling when he was like, oh, I know what James is like. it's a bit weird because there's not so much lewdness. And you were like, yeah, sorry, Andy, there'll be no editing this week. And I'm sat there like, yeah, I'm that guy.
You are that guy. You are.
One of you made a comment, and I can't remember which one it was. And when they mentioned it, all of a sudden, it just took something to another level. So obviously, I said, I quite like Anna out of Frozen. I'm sorry, and I'm Andy. We've been recording for 5 minutes. Yes, this
He's
is
back,
going to be like,
Andy. He's back.
James is back. I watched Frozen. It was like, oh, Elsa, yeah, but nah, Elsa's too prim and proper. Anna, you know for a fact.
Oh no.
You can meet your mum and dad and stuff like that, but then behind the scenes, she does all the other stuff. Yeah, she's the good one. But one of you said she'll have a French accent, and all of a sudden I was like, oh my god, fucking Anna out of Frozen with a French accent.
Was that too much? Is that too much for you?
I mean, that was verging on my comments about Ryan Reynolds and Sandra Bullock, which I'm not going to go into on this podcast.
No, again,
because although I do want something to get edited, I don't want to make Andy cry.
Yes, and we would like him to actually put the podcast on everywhere he is available. Spotify, YouTube, plug there. No, I was very disappointed last week because Tony did call me James.
Yeah, he did, didn't he?
He did, yeah, and it just slipped off the tongue. He was like, "Okay, then James," and then he looked and he was like, "Mark." I was like, "Fucking hell," honestly. And also, he didn't want to get in that deep conversation with me. Apparently, it was a bit of a father-son thing. I mean, I give him an open forum, and he was just like, "Well, I've got nothing to say to you." I was like,
this is getting awkward now. Fucking hell, Tony says, just talk for God's sake. And he's like, no.
He had nothing to say to me. I was like, "Oh, cheers, mate. Thanks." Well, yeah. So, last sprint race of the year, Brazil.
Thank fuck.
We've loved the sprint races. Someone at work said to me, "Oh, it was a really good sprint race, wasn't it, weekend?" I was like, "No, not particularly."
No. But the opening lap was interesting, and then that was it.
Yeah. I mean, let's get straight into the news. So, sprint race is featured 6 times this year. It's going to undergo some changes for 2024. Quali might move to a Saturday afternoon and quali on a Friday, and then sprint race early Saturday before quali. Might do reverse grid. What we've talked about it before. What would you do? Of them 6 sprint races, what is your feelings? Would you like to revert back to old or just make changes to this new format?
Bit of both. Bit of both.
You like the mixture of some weekends normal, some sprint?
Yeah, there's that. But if we look at last year's format, there was no sprint shootout. It was just you had your quali, you had the sprint race, and wherever you finished in the sprint race, that was your grid pack for the race itself. Much better, a lot less demand on the cars, the drivers, us. But yeah, they need to change the race because I know they're trying to bring stuff in to generate more interest in it and stuff like that, which is fine, and I get it. But the ones that are watching it already and have done for God knows how long, like we have, I'm not bothered.
No.
I mean, it was on, but there was also a firework display. So, obviously Norris had pole and stuff like that. So I said to Charlie's dad, I went, look, I'll watch the beginning. I'll watch Norris lead for 2 corners. And then I'll see Verstappen overtake. And then that'll be it because he's going to win.
Yeah.
And then I went out and watched fireworks.
So really you watched the first corner and then went out and watched fireworks?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. But it's weird.
Go on, mate.
No, go on, carry on.
Oh, what I was going to say, Charlie's dad, he's a similar kind of thing. He said, reverse grid's a good idea. He said, maybe they could do what they do in some of the touring cars where it's a ballot. But he said maybe for the first 10 drivers or something, whoever the first 10 are, their names get picked out of the bag. So it's like, Max, oh, you're 6, or whatever.
Yeah.
But something's got to be done because at the moment, if you've got pole, you've done it, and the pack doesn't change, and because some of the, the key drivers, your Max Verstappens, your Alonsos, your Hamiltons, and stuff like that, they're always going to get in that top 10 quite easily, and the majority get into the top 5, and it doesn't change because there's 19 to 20 laps, so there's no pit stop. It's that they've got to do something to mix it up a little bit and give the lower teams more of an opportunity.
And I think that's what they was hoping for. And it's not worked, like you say, it's not worked like that at all. I mean, sprint race on Saturday it was hot. They all went for soft sparring, 3 teams, and they were all struggling. There was all tyre managing in a sprint race. That's not what we want to see. We don't want to see that at all.
Q3 of the sprint shootout, no one came out.
No.
They just sat there, and literally we were all just like watching them all sitting in the pit box for the first 5 minutes waiting for, and it's only an 8-minute thing. And I can't remember who it was who came out now. I think it was the Haas. I can't. Either way, it was like they're all sitting in there because they know they've got one good sprint in them, one good lap, and they're all going to sit in there and wait. And I was like, this. It was just like, what the hell?
It's gone back to old school qualifying where it was like an hour's qualifying, and they all used to sit in the pits until later on, hoping that someone would put the rubber down, and then obviously the fastest times were at the end, and that's why they brought in this new format. I just think sprint quali being a copy of qualifying but shorter makes it more boring and more dilute. You're diluting quali because you're having quali twice. Yeah. I mean, it's a shorter one, right? Make them do 1 lap each in every session. They get to do a lap, like we've said before, and then if they nail it or fuck it up, it's done.
I quite like that.
Yeah.
Let's see track. Oh, you're fucked, aren't you?
I mean, granted, if it had been like quali on Friday with that weather, the way that come in, and you'd have been later on in the session, you'd have been foo. Because that was fun. But yeah, we'll get into that. Have you got any news?
Haas was meant to be going through their appeal today, and that's been adjourned now till tomorrow. So I saw this earlier. They are appealing the results from. Yeah. This is good news. This because I can't remember it.
The Texas one, is this where they're appealing all the track limit stuff?
Yep. They're appealing. I couldn't remember the race, but yeah, it was Texas. So now the judge panel are calling in Williams, Aston Martin, and Red Bull as well.
Right. Yeah.
So something. I mean, but that's all I know. The hearing was meant to be today, and I think earlier on today it's been adjourned till tomorrow because the panel need to review more evidence. So Haas have clearly got something that they really want to go through. But I don't know what the outcome of that would be.
It's gone now. It's moved on. It's like saying what could they do? Oh yeah, all right. More people should have got more penalties. Let's do a revised order. That's just stupid. Well, like 3 or 4 races gone now. Like
that's what I mean. Races have gone. Same as in rugby and stuff like that. A penalty can be given providing another tackle hasn't been made. Another tackle's been made. Well, too fucking late now.
Yeah. I get what Gunterstein is saying. Like, obviously, there was more breaches that missed, but like, say what? I suppose. I think was it a weekend where they said something about one team's prize money might jump up something like $20 million or for one place in the standings, which I get it has obviously want and need the money. But like you say, if they change the result or anything now, it just makes a mockery of that full Grand Prix, doesn't it?
Mm.
So
I don't think any of the results or the positions would change. I think if anything, it might just be a case of someone's going to lose the fastest lap.
yeah.
So it might,
No.
but to me, Haas going through all of that effort, going, oh no, yeah, I want that point. It's a point.
Yeah, I know.
It would be enough to make move you up a position in the table and earn you a couple more million. I get it. But
Yeah. Surely it's going to cost you in court fees all that million. So it's almost like a bit pointless because you're spending money just to probably get that back if you win, but you're probably not going to win, so you've spent that money and lost it. Yeah, it's odd. Anything else?
Hamilton's looking forward to seeing the back of W14.
Yeah, I bet he is.
As well.
I bet he is.
With it, and Toto has just said, "Look, we haven't got a win in this car this season, so we're just going to push as hard as we can for the last 2 races, and then focus on next year."
Which worries me because I read an article today that I can't remember who it was. Said they don't think Mercedes have got the talent in the aero department to physically make up a second a lap on a car more than Red Bull. Because at the end of the day, that Red Bull next year is going to be faster. I don't care what penalties they've got. I don't care wind tunnel infringement restrictions, all that. That Red Bull will probably be half a second quicker. So then Merc have got to find a second and a half on this year's car. That's a big jump. That's a massive jump.
But at the same time, I don't know how Red Bull are doing, because Horner has actually turned around and said, "Look, you haven't even seen the impact that salary breach penalty has made yet." So he's already implying there's going to be more impact next season, which, without sounding awful, I really hope so. Just to get some more. And I don't mean that because I don't want Max to win or anything else like that, but I'd like it to be more interesting than you get to the first or second turn in lap 1, and if Max wasn't already on pole, he's now got it, and then that's it. He's checked out, because in 3 laps' time he's going to be 8 seconds in the lead. And then
I mean,
can't go through a season like that.
You've got, obviously we'll go through the results and stuff, but the sprint race and the race, everyone was getting really excited, especially the race where Norris was keeping with Max, then he was catching him, then he was battling for 3 or 4 corners. Max wasn't pushing, because all Max does now is, I don't need to push this car because it'll save my tyres a bit longer. I'll let Lando catch up. And let's be honest, Lando must have been thinking, I took a 10th off him. I took 2. I'm half a second off him in this lap. But what Lando's doing is he's pushing and pushing and pushing. And his tyres, especially in Brazil, for some reason, the tyres just went. They didn't last very long. And then Max was like, right, your tyres are gone now, Lando. See you later, kid. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
And that's all he toyed with him. Yeah, he just toyed with him. And there was all like, I think McLaren's going to get a win. It was never, ever on, because like you say, there's too much in that Red Bull. They're not stressing that car at all.
No.
Which probably makes it worse that Perez is doing what he's doing. Because they should be first and second in every race. Every single race with that car.
Yeah.
And I know we keep saying it, don't we? I know we keep saying it. I really apologise for being boring, but when you look at how much in hand that Red Bull has got, Perez should be second. I don't care if he's out of form. I don't care if there's not the same parts on this car. They have got so much in hand. He should have wiped the floor with the championship. Yeah.
But first and second should have been secured a while ago now, really.
Yeah. Yeah, I just think it makes Perez look even worse, because, like say, Max was just reeling Lando in, and then it was like say in the sprint race, in the sprint, you thought, hey, them two are gone. Like Lando's keeping up with Max. Oh my God, he's gonna stay with him. Oh no, he's gone. Bye bye, Max. See you later.
Norris does have faster reaction than Max. We've seen that in the last couple of races. The start reaction from Norris, granted, it's only a couple of tenths of a second, but that's a hell of a difference for a reaction.
Mm.
And he's done it time and time again. But I mean, obviously in the race, you know, Norris had a really good start, and he was staying on Max and everything, and then everything happened that happened in the first lap. So then when it came to the restart, I'm not spoiling anything. It's Wednesday. We're recording this. If anybody hasn't watched the race now when they're listening to this, the fuck. Hi, Ricky. The restart was then completely different. It was just like, I don't get it. Just Norris had a slightly quicker start again, but the speed that Max just came up to him and then just breezed by him, he might as well have just been stood still.
It was like the second fit. So the initial 0 to 60, I think the McLaren, and with Lando's reactions, like you said, is probably quicker than the Red Bull 0 to 60 with Max's reaction. I think it's that 62, 80 or 100 where that Red Bull is so strong. Like you say, it was that next phase, and it wasn't like Lando was wheel spinning or anything like that. All of a sudden, it was just like he did have like a turbo boost button. I mean, whether he deployed all his battery, I don't know, but he just literally lit him up, and that was it. It was like Lando, it was a dot. It's that second phase, isn't it? Like you say, it's fair play to Honda because they've built a bloody good engine.
God, yeah.
Really good. Yeah. So, well, qualifying. So we've done 23 minutes. We've talked about a lot of it, but we haven't actually gone through qualifying. So I'll quickly whiz through. Shock horror. Max was pole. Leclerc second. Stroll third. Alonso fourth. Lewis fifth. Russell sixth. Norris seventh. Sainz eighth. Perez ninth. Piastri 10th. 15-minute delay to quali to remove debris on the track. And there was a 60% chance of rain predicted. Quite a few incidents of slow drivers in the pit lane, especially Gasly nearly hitting Russell.
Yep.
Which
Don't know what's going on with that guy. It's like every week so far, the last couple of races in particular, Russell's been getting caught out for not driving to the Delta, so he's not going fast enough on his warm-up lap, or he's impeding, or what was it on this one? Yeah, well, he was impeding in the pit lane, wasn't he? Because he wasn't far enough to the left.
Yes, yep.
He's pissing me off anyway, but we'll get to that on the race anyway.
I know what you're going to say about the race, so yeah, I'm glad you said that. But yeah, like you've all got race director instructions to go to the left. It's a narrow pit lane. I'm not sure how left they could have gone because they'd have been on the grass. But literally, Gasly come round the corner, nearly went into the back of him because George was just parked in the middle, and they was like, But they was all doing it, like say, for the last 3 or 4 races now. They're all slow at the pits. They're all jockeying. They're all waiting. Okay, just knock it on the head. Just say to them, right, if you do that, you're out. You're not qualifying. You start at the back. Like, don't dick about. But yeah, there was a lot of that again. And then in Q3, the sky looked like it had been painted black.
It's just
so weird.
In it.
It was so weird. I've never seen that in all the years.
So obviously, you saw the camera from the helicopter just flying over the track, just in between 2 and 3, and it was like you said, it was just a sheer change because you know it's panning from one side and it's kind of grey, and then all of a sudden just black.
Yeah. Then it got windy, and then you thought, oh, hang on a minute, there's a bit of a breeze, and all the drivers were complaining, saying, well, there's a bit of a gust out here, and then the rain coming, it was like biblical. It was...
Well, the wind took some of the roof off the grandstand.
I saw that video, yeah, because they weren't allowed to exit the track, was they, because of safety. And then when that grandstand roof got ripped off, it was basically like a marquee. But it got ripped off the top. They then got all evacuated. Luckily, no one was hurt. But Jesus, yeah, I've never seen anything like that. So the session got abandoned with 4 minutes to go, and they literally had time for one lap, didn't they? They all knew the rain was coming. I don't think they realised how quickly and how much.
Oh Jesus! No one saw that happening. It's like, oh, it's good. Like, oh, for the usual few spots, they'll get in, get the wets on, back out kind of thing. It was like, nah, she's gonna be.
Like say it was. I've never seen, because obviously Brazil goes up a hill a little bit at the beginning, and it was just like, Jesus Christ, they're driving into space. Like, it's that dark. It was just, it was mental, absolutely mental. But Max again got it right, because Red Bull were out early in every session. To be fair to Max, one good thing I do like about him is when people were dicking about in the pitch, he just goes round them. He was on the grass. He had.
It's just like,
yeah. He don't care. He's just like, right, I'm getting by you because you're doing my head in. He just doesn't give a shit, does he? Like, I mean, if he could, he would literally force them off the track, like push them out the way.
Yeah.
But
yeah, it is funny when, fuck this shit, I'm going.
Fair play to him. So yeah, that was quali, really. No big casualties, really. Anything else from quali?
Not really, no. No.
I'll get to the less. Yeah, I mean, sprint shootout, even less exciting, barring one incident. So for sprint shootout, Norris was pole, Max second, Perez third, Russell fourth, Lewis fifth, Tsunoda sixth, Leclerc seventh, Ricciardo eighth, Sainz ninth, Piastri 10th. The only real thing that happened in sprint quali was Ocon crashing into Alonso and then saying, I didn't lose control of my car, but the video footage showed that he did. Nah, I didn't.
Clear as fucking day, wasn't it?
Yeah. I mean,
he hit him like a drunk driver.
Yeah, he was.
I mean, Alonso's there, just minding his own business, just doing what he does and stuff, and all of a sudden he's just, I know you're away from Ocon, he's going, fucking dickhead, Alonso. And it's like, mate, don't stop it. Just stop it. You drove into him.
You pressed the accelerator pedal on the corner, you lost control of the front, and then there was Alonso. Granted, Alonso could have been further to the right, but how many times does Fernando do exactly what you expect other people to do? Not a lot.
No.
He was parked in the middle, but equally, you lost control. I mean, it was the whole, what do you call it again, isn't it? The Haas driver, Grosjean. Someone took me out. There was no one around you, Roman.
It was just you back.
Shit. Crap.
I forgot all about that, and I think last year we spent like an entire episode just talking about that.
I still think it's my favourite thing from Formula One ever. Just the fact that on the radio, it was just like, someone just hit me. And you could hear the engineer going, do I tell him? Do I tell him? There was no one around you. I mean, what do you say? Yeah, someone did it, yeah. We'll discuss it after the session. No one.
I think that's what was said, wasn't it, with Ocon? He was like, "Oh, fucking," like, yeah, we'll look into it for you. Like, for fuck's sake.
But it delayed SQ2 because he made a right mess of the barriers. It proper sent him off. Yeah. Other than that, I have got no other notes for sprint quali because I thought sprint quali was absolutely garbage. Like you say, there wasn't coming out.
No. Got to Q3 and they sat there. And that was it. Just sat there, and even Martin Brundle's just like, well, this is good. I mean, I think the only reason Martin Brundle stayed was because he's like, well, at least I'm getting paid.
Well, yeah. I've flown all the way to Brazil. I'm sat in a booth. I'm getting paid for it.
I'm in Brazil, and you know what? I'm staring at a lot of very attractive Brazilian women dancing around like Shakira and all of that. And I'm getting paid for this. I don't give a shit.
I mean, granted, he earned his money by talking to the dick that was Machine Gun Kelly on the...
Just about to say that.
What an absolute... I mean, what a tool. What an absolute tool.
Just as soon as Brundle went, it's Machine Gun Kelly, I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake. And then when he started talking, well, eventually talked, I think he just kind of stared at the microphone as if he was trying to figure out what the hell it was. Bearing in mind, Machine Gun Kelly, you're meant to sing into him. It's what you apparently do, but you're also meant to sing into him in key. And he just like stares at the mic and then also goes, yeah, I didn't understand a word you just said there, but okay. It's like, you're such a dick. I still love the point when Eminem just got pissed off with you and wrote something probably in 30 seconds while he was sat on his own porcelain throne, just thinking, I've got fuck all else better to do, and absolutely destroyed him. So much so that you could not follow your own career in rap anymore, and you became a rock star. And I'm sorry, but a fucking 4-year-old with a shitty £2 ukulele from B&M can play the guitar better than you, mate.
Hey, he plays the air guitar better than anybody, apparently.
No, yeah, he can play the air guitar. Not quite as good as Wild Stallions can play the air guitar, but he can play the air guitar. But he needs keys. He needs keys.
And the fact that he tried to get Martin Brundle, who is already a very busy man, on a grid walk to play air piano. And fair play to Martin, he was just like, nah, I'm not
doing that.
Fucking idiot.
But prick didn't even stay. Didn't even stay for the full race.
No.
He left. I think it was Brundle one who even said, "Oh yeah, so Machine Gun Kelly's gone now." But he did say Lou. I can think of a few other things I'd like to have said, but
I also liked his comments to Bernie Eccleston about busy with a court case or something like that. I was like, "Oh, Martin, what are you doing? What are you doing?"
I'm good. There was Eccleston because I was stood there. I was like, them two never really liked each other much.
No.
Also, when he was talking to Barrichello as well, and he went, "Oh, you seem to be talking to me a lot more than when we used to be teammates." And Barrichello went, "Yes, because I used to fucking hate you." That, ladies and gentlemen, is why we love Ruben Barrichello.
Yeah, good old Rubens. Yeah, there was also Massa was there, Nelson Piquet Jr. So obviously, considering all the court case stuff going on, but none of them were on the grid, which would have made it even more interesting, especially with Martin being Martin. He'd have probably called him out and said, "Oh, you two been speaking then?" But yeah. Right. Well, on that note, we'll take a break and then sprint, race, and predictions. You're back for the predictions. Tony did it last week, and it just didn't have that same feel as when James takes over predictions and reads them out.
Well, you're going to have to do it this week because I haven't made a note of the points, unfortunately. Oh, actually, no. Tell you what, no. I will get them.
Okay.
I will get a break, so that we can go back to regular business as usual. The only thing I am really happy about is best predictions was so fucking ridiculous. I don't think we've got too much to worry about now. Hi, Beth.
Hi, Beth. I feel like that breath on my back has just got a little bit further away because it was almost like I could feel the breath and the hand was just touching, And now, it's too far away now. Sorry, Beth. You fucked it. Hi, Beth. Hi, Beth. You've got 2 races. I think you've let us off the hook. Thank God. But yeah, good. You've got to do it because it didn't feel right last week. It felt, and I don't want to do it because you're back. So go do your research. I've got them written down if you want to text me, and I'll text you the scores. But you can read them out. So yeah, we'll see you on the other side.
See you shortly.
Hey, you. Yeah, you that's listening right now. Thanks very much for tuning into this episode of Straight to the Apex, the Formula One podcast from CookieCast. If you're enjoying this episode, why not like, share and subscribe? Whilst you're there, feel free to check out some of the other podcasts that CookieCast has to offer. If you like football, we've got a football podcast. NFL more your thing? Then the Lace Is Out podcast is for you. Maybe even a little bit of the wrestling. Just look for the Getting Over podcast on CookieCast. Maybe you want to listen to Andy's Darkest Timeline. It's there too. So, the F1 boys have probably got themselves a drink. It's time to get back to the action.
And we are back. Part 2, Straight to the Apex podcast, episode 24.
Yeah.
With me, driving the Max Verstappen of this week, Mark Wilkin. Hello.
Oh, God, really?
Yeah, tosser. Twat.
I was going to say the only thing that you're Max Verstappen in is in bed.
Don't know what to do with that, ladies and gentlemen.
19-second lead, and that is it.
Joining me this week, he's back from his halls, Mr. James Stainforth. Good job she don't listen to this.
She's probably sat there going, yeah, he is.
Yeah,
He's like Max Verstappen.
Fast and hard. No. Over too quickly. No, right. Anyway, let's move on.
Guess who's back? Back again.
Yeah, Andy, really sorry. You had a good week last week. You had no editing to do. I'd maybe listen a bit closely this week because he's back. No, as always, thanks to Andy and CookieCast for having us on as always. So obviously, like, share, subscribe, get us on all your socials. Talking about the Brazilian Grand Prix. I mean, it's been riveting so far. What a weekend. We've talked about so much action. Yeah, Formula One, ladies and gentlemen, 2023, this is what it's all about. Domination.
Sponsorship next year.
And I hope it. I hope
on the fucking TV.
I know. So sprint race. Loosely talked about it. Here's the order: Max, Norris, Perez, Russell, Leclerc, Tsunoda, Lewis, Sainz, Ricciardo, Piastri. Max jumps Norris literally before turn 1. And then the other big talking point is Mercedes went backwards quicker than a VAR decision in football. It was just, they were just awful. I mean, the fact that, did all of you have a make in the top 3 last week? You did, I did, Tony did, Beth did. Charlie had 2 marks in the top 3.
I'm going to say we all had Mark in the top 3.
Where did it go so wrong?
Honest, no bloody clue. But they just weren't thinking straight at all this weekend, because in the sprint race, their softs were dead 16 laps in.
Yep.
And then on the actual race itself, they weren't in a bad position. It was the last pit stop that did 24 laps left, and like, oh well, put softs on. It's like, mate, they're not going to last fucking 16 laps, and you've got 24 to go. I don't know what's gone on But yeah, it's a full 180 they've done, and even Lewis commented, going, "We've had 2 or 3 good weeks, and then that shower of shit." And that's when he turned around and went, "Honest to God, I'll just be glad to see the back of the W14."
I mean, normally, because they'd hyped it up before as well, they'd hyped up this new floor, it had done well. Last year, they had a terrible car, yet they did well in Brazil. So there was all like, oh, this year, we've got an improved car. The floor's been good for 2 races. Obviously, they got kicked out of the first race with a flaw. But, like, we do well in Brazil. This is our time. And obviously, sprint race qualified 4th and 7th. And you thought, oh, maybe Lewis has just mucked up his lap. Russell's up there 4th. They're going to come through. And they just struggled from literally lap 2. They looked nowhere. They looked slow in the straight. They reckon they put too much downforce on the car. That's why they were sluggish. But they put downforce on to get the rear to work, and all the drivers did was complain about the rear.
Yeah, and I don't know why they did that with Hamilton, because Hamilton drives similar to Max, where he likes to have a little bit less grip on the rear, just so he can drift it, that, just sling the car on the corners. Max had it fucking to a different fucking level altogether with his rear, but they both have a similar kind of driving style. Same with Schumacher as well. But yeah, why do it to Russell? Might like it, but why do it to Hamilton? I don't know.
No, I don't. It was, yeah, it wasn't great. Like I say, I mean, the fact that looking back at sprint quality, like I say, Russell 4th, Lewis 5th. Lewis dropped to 7th in the race. Russell maintained his 4th. Yeah. But then, like I say, everyone at work was like, oh, it was a great sprint. Well, barring Norris and Max, Perez qualified 3rd, finished 3rd. Russell qualified 4th, finished 4th. Lewis qualified 5th, finished 7th. Tsunoda qualified 6th, finished 6th. Leclerc finished 7th, qualified 5th. Ricciardo dropped a place. Sainz went up a place. Piastri qualified 10th, finished 10th. I don't see what action people saw, because
it is not entertaining.
No,
it's not.
It was, like I say, I know it was hotter, and I know they were complaining about the temperatures, but they were tyre managing in a sprint race. They should have all gone on. The thing was, 2 cars started on mediums and they didn't work. In the actual main race, Lewis said, I want to put the hard on. And there was like, no chance.
Here's what they should do for the sprint race. Have the reserve drivers do it.
Well, yeah.
Just have 2 cars on the track and get the reserve drivers in and have a reserves race.
Yeah. Because that might be more entertaining, because they might go for it. But at the end of the day, it's not their car, and they're all battling. And the winner of the sprint series gets an F1 drive the year after.
Oh, I mean, that's a bit of a fucking prize and a half, like, but I mean, I wouldn't go with that. I think it would be good that, they get to, obviously the points go to the constructors and stuff like that, but the driver himself get those 8 points or 7 or whatever it's going to be. So then you've got like a third table going on. You've got the drivers' championship, the constructors championship, and then the reserves. Yeah. That might be interesting.
I don't know. No. So, anything else from the sprint race?
Not that I can say on a recording that kids might listen to. But bearing in mind what I normally say on here, I really hope kids don't listen to it.
Yeah. Parents, if you're letting your kids listen to James and him feeling up a French Anna, maybe you shouldn't have kids. Just saying.
In my defence, though, a French accent is pretty sexy.
Is it? No, it's not for me.
Oh, come on.
Nah.
I don't mean on a bloke or something going, bonjour,
oh.
monsieur. Like, yeah, that's just wrong. But you got.
I nearly went down a path.
Like that.
I nearly went down a path of stereotyping French people. All I'm going to say is onions.
Oh,
no.
No. We can leave that to Tony.
Yeah. What upsetting nations?
I did notice last week that he actually, instead of just going through a country or a city or anything else like that, he decided to insult probably 3/4 of the world by saying, "Yeah, I don't like friends."
I know. And on the week that Matthew Perry died as well. I mean, come on, pick your weeks. I mean, it was a bit of a spoiler alert. We had a text off Andy asking me and James about the NFL podcast. We're both NFL fans. Would we like to go on? Blah, blah, blah. Tony's response, fucking boring shit game. I'm like, fuck it, Tony, what are you doing?
It's like this guy lets us go onto his podcast.
I know.
Don't upset him.
What? Just because you don't like it doesn't make it shit. But no, Tony has to go attack all Americans because, I mean, it's like religion over there. And a lot of Germany and a lot of the UK. So really, he's upsetting his home country now. Fucking brilliant, Tony. There's nowhere for you to hide. That's where he is this week, everyone. He's in hiding. He's had to. Clown. Absolute clown, that kid is.
In the middle of an ocean somewhere. Just on a raft he's made.
He still won't be safe there because he'd upset someone. I don't know, a fisherman, Finding Nemo, Dory. He'd fucking find something to upset. Wouldn't he? Some polar bear on an ice capsule over there. He'd be like, "Oh, look at you, you silly white bear, you bastard." Oh, no.
Free Willy's come back and he's just gonna, just smash it. Yeah.
Oh dear, Tony. We miss you. We miss you. So the race, the main event. Leclerc didn't even make it to the grid.
No.
His hydraulics went. At first, I thought he's binned it. But yeah.
It was so weird because you're driving along and then all of a sudden the camera just panned over like when something suddenly just happened and you see a Ferrari in the wall and you're like, the fuck? And Leclerc's out. I was like, what? He's like, it's the formation lap. It's like it's the equivalent of us driving 15 miles an hour in a school zone. I was like, what the hell have you done? And then when you see it, it's like, oh, right, yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, we'll let you off.
Yeah.
But it was odd. It was funny because obviously there was a red flag from the first corner, and he'd abandoned the car, started walking back, and then all of a sudden he was like, wonder if I could get back to the pits if I could actually join in. No, you've got no hydraulics. How the hell are you? You've dumped it on the grass. If you could drive it back, you surely would have driven it back. But
I think the main talking points from the race, obviously, Machine Gun Kelly being, Machine Gun Kelly.
Yep.
The formation lap, the first lap, and the last lap.
Yes. Yeah, pretty much.
Or you can come to an F1 podcast and not talk about them 2 points alone.
That is true. So, first lap, heavy collision between Albon and Magnussen brought out the red flags. It was kind of odd. It was Magnussen, Hülkenberg, and Albon, wasn't it? All kind of continued into each other. I don't know whose wheel.
No.
Yeah, I don't know whose wheel flew off, but it then hit Piastri's rear wing and Ricciardo's.
Yep. I'm trying to remember whose bloody wheel it was. I think it was Magnussen's.
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah, Magnussen's wheel came off, Albon went into the wall, and Hülkenberg was, just very lucky, really.
He kind of got knocked into, but was able to continue, probably with a bit of damage. But yeah, he was very lucky.
The way Albon was in between the two, thinking where his rear wheel was and everything else like that, I was sitting there thinking, well, one's out because he's gone into the wall. Oh, sorry, lost his tyre. And I went, the other one, he's going to have a massive gaping fucking hole in his side pod.
Mm.
You know how he didn't? I don't know, but
No.
Yeah, but obviously that happened, and then when there was all in the pits, weren't they? Or there was going into the pits because at first it was like, oh, we'll just have a safety car through the pits. Like, okay, that's fine. So yeah, no red flag makes sense. Where the stewards are going to be, we can cut that bit out. Absolutely fine. And then all of a sudden, they say on the radio or Piastri, you're going to have to bring the car in. We're going to have to retire you. And it goes from like 3 drivers out to 4. And then there was obviously Ricardo as well. There was like, well, his rear wing's gone as well. But then it went red flag, and I was like, well, they may be able to fix some of these cars now.
Yeah.
And just, yeah, what a
strange.
I mean, even if you don't talk about that, we've already touched on Norris's start. Norris had a cracking start first time round.
Yeah, he
really did.
Yeah, well,
and
you
broke loose.
I mean, you had Russell, Ocon, Gasly all received 2 grid place penalties for the carnage in qualifying. But yeah, it was Norris got a really good start, and again looked like he was keeping with Max. Obviously, he was pushing himself. Merck again. Alonso breezed past Hamilton. Russell got overtaken by Perez.
That was weird as well, because that was the other thing. The first start, the first time we had lights out, and obviously you had. I'm trying to remember the grid pattern, but obviously you had Alonso and Stroll, and you're sitting there thinking they probably don't belong where they are. And then as it all started, Norris went flying down one side, and then Hamilton and Russell just both take the Aston Martin. It's like, see you later, mate. And like, they definitely did not belong in that spot. But then the second, the restart after the red flag, you was expecting the same kind of thing, but it was so weird. It's almost like Alonso got in a different car or something.
Yeah, actually, I forgot about that because the Hamilton went around one side, Norris went the other. The Aston Martins looked like they were stood still. And then, like you say, on the restart after the red flag, it was almost like Alonso had this like super duper power up from Mario Kart.
He took Russell and then he took Hamilton.
Yeah, it was mental. Like, you're right. I forgot about that first start with Lewis and Norris actually. But yeah, in the race, it was just went backwards. Like I say, Perez got on both, Stroll got Russell. Hamilton was overtaken by Alonso. Then I think Gasly had a good go. Russell. It was just, again, it just seemed to be like a parachute. I think Martin Brundle said it looked like a parachute was fixed to the mech down the straight because considering the Aston Martin has the same engine as the mech, it made it look like it was standing still or in the wrong gear.
But that's been the issue nearly all year, though, hasn't it? Really, there's so many cars out there with the exact same engine as Mercedes, and yet Mercedes can't perform. It's like it's your engine, and you're getting beaten by your own engine in other cars. It's ridiculous.
Look at McLaren. It's the same engine. And it is keeping up with the Red Bull for 5 or 10 laps. So power-wise, you're keeping up. Yes, we said that Max isn't pushing, but it's got the ability to be around them. Yet Lewis is finishing 8th, and George is having to retire because his engine's overheating.
Yeah. Subject to Russell.
Yes.
Can I just say, on behalf of Tony, first of all, Woody, you're a dick. Get over yourself. Grow up.
Are we talking specifically about the radio messages when he's behind Lewis? We need to work as a team here. And then when Lewis got out of DRS, I guess we're not then.
Yeah, it's like, guys, come on, let's work as a team. We can do this. It was like, hang on, you are a team. You shouldn't have to make the suggestion of let's work as a team. You are the fucking team. That should be BAU.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you said, as soon as Hamilton started peeling off, went, so are we racing then, or are we just doing our own things? Like, you've changed your tune.
Oh, I know.
Then he's going, oh, I'm so much, Hamilton's over, he's holding me back, blah 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 blah, and then 2 minutes later, you get overtaken. Is that Hamilton's fault?
Mm.
Comes out again, makes another comment about Hamilton. 2 drivers overtaken. That must be fucking Hamilton's fault as well. No, sorry, Woody. You're just shit.
It's since he's got all that hair. He hasn't cut his hair, and it's all like long, and it's almost like it's like he's given up on life.
So I used to like him. Granted, I used to get annoyed when he's like insisting on using whatever big word he's learned that day when he's on the radio and stuff like that. I mean, he wipes his arse on word of the day, toilet paper probably, and stuff like that.
Oh, definitely.
And that was a bit annoying. But now it's just, you know what it reminds me. I mean, I can't talk from experience. A wife after 30 years. You know what? They don't make direct comments anymore. They just make the side comments. But you know exactly what the fuck they're talking about.
Yeah.
Oh, so are we not racing then today? It's like, mate, shut the fuck up.
It's ever since Sainz helped Norris in the battle, every driver seems to want to do it to keep him in DRS. And I get what Russell was saying, but equally, you are a driver out for yourself. Lewis is managing his tyres. You're getting frustrated with him because clearly you're going to overtake Lewis, but then you'd have to manage your tyres. I don't get it. Yeah, he was just moaning for moaning's sake.
Yeah, but you know what? At one point, I said something, and then about 30 seconds later, made the same fucking comment. He's like, "Oh, I'm so much faster. I can do this and stuff. Blah 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 blah." And I went, "Well, you know what? You're not on team orders.
Overtake him then.
Overtake him.
Yeah. Actually, make a move on him instead.
If you're that fast, go past him."
Yeah.
And then that was when he got overtook, and I was like,
"No." But like, if Lewis had kept George in DRS, Perez would have got them both quicker. So I don't know what's up with George. I don't know if he's been dumped because he's turned into a right miserable moaning twat. Something's happened. He's just.
Is he single now then?
No, I don't think he is. But well, maybe all I'm saying is maybe he has because he's got very fucking miserable very quickly. But if he hasn't been dumped, George, got news for you. Carrying like that, you probably are going to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's hard work. I mean, I want to like George, but I would definitely say he's slowly going down the popularity contest.
If I was Toto, I'd be looking through his contract right now. I'm like, right, how can we get rid of him, lads?
Do you think he feels that he's better than he is?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Is it an ego thing?
Yeah, I think he's just got really bloody arrogant.
Yeah,
he's got really arrogant because he was really good to watch and stuff like that. He had his really good reputation of he has never been outdone by any of his teammates and stuff like that. And then he gets to Mercedes. It's like, I've made it. I'm there. I'm in the big bucks. And granted, Mercedes was like, yeah, I'm sorry, but the car giving you a shit show. Basically, it's like Love Island on repeat. And yeah, he gets a podium and he gets a win. And it's just like, mate, you got that podium. It's not because you're driving better than Hamilton. It's because last year Hamilton was taking all of the upgrades because he's not so bothered. But it's just like, you do my head in. You absolutely do my head in now. I mean, when you've had other drivers like Bottas, not Hulkenberg, Jesus, Rosberg, and all the other fucking drivers Hamilton has driven with. I mean, Hamilton has pretty much driven. He's God knows how many world champions he's driven with. Alonso, Button, Rosberg, and it's just like he doesn't need it. And I'm sorry, Russell. I don't know.
Russell is
like in the comments.
Russell is acting like a world champion that hasn't been a world champion. His attitude and his demeanour is like, you rightly said it. At Williams, he did well in that car, and he's gone to Merc, and he feels like he's already a world champion, and he's acting like a world champion. When in fact, you're making yourself look a dick because you're not a world champion, and you've been nowhere near. You've not won 5 or 6 races on the trot. You've not put that all together, and I know the car's shit, but you've not put a run together where you've been out qualifying Hamilton, you've been out racing Hamilton, but you're acting like you are. You're acting like a big dog when you're not.
No, you're not. Hamilton sees a gap and he takes it successfully. You see a gap and you take it and then realise it's the gap in the middle of the word Singapore. Hi, George.
Nice. So top 3 pulled away. Massive gap.
I will say this quickly, sorry.
Okay.
Norris is a world champion.
Yeah, and they're making a big deal of him not winning a race yet. I don't really care that he's not won a race yet.
What I like about it is he makes a joke of, when I become world champion. Oh no, he don't even say when I become world champion I'm going to retire, because he said, "Oh, Rosberg became world champion and he retired. I'm just going to retire when I win a race."
And that's it. He's still likable. He's still got that, like.
I think a couple of years down the line he'll get one.
I think he will. I think if McLaren carry on the rate they're developing that car, 100%. And I think him and Max are mates. But equally, I think if they was in the same machine if they was in the same car, exactly the same car over the course of a season, I think Max and Norris would win equal amounts of races. I think it'd be very close, because I think Norris on his day is as fast as Max. But I think Max has been more consistent.
He's shown the last couple of races, he gives him a fight.
He does, definitely. But yeah, top 3 pulled away. I mean, it was just man-numbing. Zhou retired, Bottas retired, Russell retired. And then the main talking point that's left is the finish.
The last half of the last lap. I mean, we've been waiting all season for that. All season we have been waiting for a finish like that. And that's what I miss, because granted, Hamilton was winning back-to-back world championships and stuff like that, but he wasn't winning them the way that Verstappen is now, where he pretty much just gets into the car and he's won. Hamilton had a fight still, and it was towards the end where it'd all kick off and it'd be a last-minute kind of thing, and we've missed that. And then we got that with Alonso and Perez. And what an absolute beautiful finish. I mean, Perez took him. They was on each other's. Perez couldn't keep him. Perez made all them overtakes past Russell, past Hamilton, and everybody else. So when they got to Alonso, he couldn't get past him. He couldn't close the gap or anything. Then all of a sudden, he got him. It was almost like Alonso teased him a little bit by kind of holding back a little bit, going, "Oh, come on, I'll give you an easy one." And Perez took him. Oh, fucking bollocks. And then, right on the line, Alonso just suddenly went, "Yeah, see you."
The wily old fox that he is, he knew what he was doing. knew what he was doing from that last corner. You could see he was lining him up of the next two corners, and then it kind of opens up, and it's almost like a straight in it at Brazil. They don't really have to brake. You could just see Alonso line him up, and you think, I thought that Red Bull's going to out-drag him. He's well played, Alonso, but Red Bull's done you. And the wily old fox that is Fernando Alonso was like, you might have a faster car. I'm better than you. And he did him. And I mean, if Tony was on tonight, I guarantee he'd have been sat there in his Aston Martin hat with a massive grin on his face.
Oh,
Team Alonso.
He was screaming like a girl at a JLS concert or something like that.
I told you. But
I mean, in fairness, I was screaming like a girl at a JLS concert. In fairness,
fair play to Alonso, because, like I say, he lined him up, and it just made it a little bit better as well that he pipped Perez. So again, we say about Russell, Perez has gone from a likable character to every time I see him, he looks miserable. He's moaning. He's just his attitude. I don't like. He's another one of them for me that's falling down the grid in the people I like, and it just made me happy inside when Fernando pipped him by. I think
it just stole it in the last second.
Was it 0.54? Yeah, there you go. Perez, you're back. You've got a podium. Oh, shit, no, you haven't. I pipped you.
Is this yours?
Nope. So, driver standings.
Go for it.
Max 524, Perez 258, Hamilton 226. With 2 races to go. 32 points in it now. With 2 races to go, I think it's too much.
I think it's pretty much done and in the bag, innit?
Yeah. So Perez is going to jammily get second in the driver's standings. Alonso is now fourth on 198, and Norris 195. Again, he's quietly snuck up there as Lando, considering the start. Next race, Vegas, 19th of November, 6 a.m. Sunday morning. Interesting. It's going to be very cold, like 6 degrees cold, which for Vegas is going to be ridiculous. 50-lap race. It's a 3.85 mile course, 17 corners. Obviously, I was in Vegas. I've seen some of the track getting developed. I've seen more videos since I've been. We've talked about it on the podcast. I think it'll be a one and done. But
the amount of work you're having to do.
I'm looking forward to it. And Katie's actually said it's the one race she wants to watch because of where it is and see the strip. And granted, I don't think she'll last the full race, but I am really looking forward to it. And I don't know if it's because I was there a few weeks ago, but
I think the matter that we've both done Vegas, we're both looking forward to it for that, but at the same time it's Vegas, so it's going to be a show. It might not be the most entertaining race, but visually it's up there with Singapore. And the fireworks and whatnot.
I mean, the track itself, the start-finish straight is so short. It's going to be interesting, and the fact that it's so cold, maybe we won't get this whole tyre degradation thing, because they're not getting hot. They're not. I don't know. Maybe it'll go the other way, and they're all like driving on ice. It'll be interesting.
Either way. So, predictions.
Yep. Let's go.
So, I listened back to William Shatner doing the predictions. In typical William Shatner style, it did take a hell of a long time to go through.
Well, at least you had plenty of time to write it down.
But mate, I utilised the skip 15 seconds on Spotify so much. Other streaming platforms out there, but Spotify's good.
Yeah.
So, Mark, you had 54 points and you went Max, Sainz and Hamilton. You got Max, so you now have 57 points.
Yay.
Me and Tony, without actually talking to each other or anything else like that, both went Max, Hamilton, Norris. We both had 56 points. We've both now got 59 points.
On that note, that was so weird because, for everyone listening, James texted me his predictions before the podcast, didn't send them to Tony because he doesn't trust that little weasel, and he still managed to pick exactly the same as James. But to be fair, he also picked mine for me when I'd written them down and you were picking. So, well played, Tony. But yeah, you both went for the same one, even though you was in two different countries.
Aye. Big round of applause to Katie. Finally scoring a point for the first time in
a long time. A long
time. She had gone Hamilton, Ricciardo, Alonso. She's gone from 9 points to 10. Charlie, because she's stubborn, went Russell, Hamilton, Norris, and is still on 14 points. And Beth did some really ridiculous thing and just gambled. No idea why, and went Hamilton, Max, Norris, got nil points, and is still on 53 points. So we're all sitting there a little bit more comfy. Obviously, we still know that Beth is in the lead, so she's going to be picking the forfeit for us. Mark may be getting his first tattoo if that's what Beth's going to. I fucking hope it's not. In all honesty, I don't mind getting tattoos, but I don't think that's a worthy buddy bet thing. So there we go.
Host goes first. Yep.
So Max, yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Who are you going? I'm host. I'm waiting for you.
I was sitting there thinking, don't do a fucking Tony. We've got 2.5 minutes left.
I totally forgot I was host. I was waiting for you. So I've gone Max first. I've gone Norris second. And I've gone Perez third.
Ooh. I've gone for the same three. But I think because it's Vegas and because Red Bull are just those kind of dicks, they want a 1-2. So they are going to crank up their engines to 11.
Okay.
So I've got Max for the win. Perez second. Norris third.
Nice. So Katie's is Lewis, Ricciardo, Alonso. Enough said.
Yeah. And Charlie has gone. Charlie's hasn't gone bad actually. Charlie has gone Norris, Alonso.
She's gone what? Sorry, you broke up.
Sorry, Charlie has gone Sainz, Norris, Alonso, which I don't think is a bad guess either.
That's actually not bad.
Yeah.
It's just missing one name off the top. Max.
Yeah.
So we haven't got any predictions from Beth or Tony. I'm sure they'll get in touch and give us the predictions. I mean, if Beth doesn't, she's basically give us so much breathing space. It's unreal. But yeah, other than that, great pod. Great to have you back, James. Thanks for joining me.
Always, mate. Good to be with you.
Yeah, again, thanks to Andy. Sorry that you might have you'll have to listen intently because James is back, but don't worry. I think we're safe this week.
I've still got 40
seconds. Yeah, exactly. I'll use that 40 seconds to apologise to Andy. Just sorry, Andy. Sorry. No, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Thanks for joining me. Until next time. See you later.
See you soon, guys.
So there we go. What do you think of that? Another good one. I'm sure you'll agree. Big thank you for watching. Big thank you for listening. Big thank you for being here. If I can just trouble you for a couple of things, please do consider like, share, subscribe and comment. Leave a review where you can leave a review and check out the website, thecookiecast.com. They're the social media links and an email button, and that way you can get in touch with these guys. Let them know what you think to the podcast. Let them know that you're thinking about them. Anything. Literally anything. That's it for this one. Until next time, I'm going to say bye, and I'll see you then.
Thank you for listening to this episode of CookieCast.